Hello, everybody, and welcome to M2OTV. I am Schae Lewis, a certified professional organizer, and I'm here today with a very special guest, Rosie from Inner Brilliance Coaching. I'm going to let her talk in a little bit and tell us more about who she is. But first, I want to kind of set us up here. Now, at Mission to Organize, we have a monthly topic that we discuss every month. This particular month, our topic of discussion is employer, employee, and employment relationships. So this is everything from how you can connect with your coworkers to how bosses can connect with their team members, which is why I brought Rosie on today. She is a brilliant coach who works with high achievers. I'm going to let Rosie tell us more about her, who she works with, and why she's here today. Rosie, take it away.
Thanks, Schae. It's so nice to be here with all of you today. I am, as Schae said, a certified life and career coach, and I founded Inner Brilliance Coaching in 2007. And I work with high achievers who actually, they know how to set goals and achieve them, but sometimes they could use a little support in making sure it's the right goal or that they're enjoying the process along the way. So I'm sure you know many people this way where they can go get it, but either exhausted or frustrated and just feel like there's a better way to live. And I discovered that way where you could be happier while you're getting results in your life. So I share that with people. And prior to coaching, I was in advertising for 18 years. So I've experienced a lot of situations with bosses and team members. I've been on both sides. And so I feel like I have some fun stuff I could share with you that I share with my clients. I really can partner with them in their leadership roles as well. So I'm excited to tell you more.
Great. Thank you for setting that up, Rosie. I told you guys she's the perfect person to discuss this. And I'm so fortunate to have her as a friend and mentor. So Rosie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So as she mentioned, she does work with high achievers, and oftentimes high achievers are bosses. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to know if Rosie had any suggestions for any bosses out there who are looking to make a more meaningful yet appropriate connection with their team members. So Rosie, can you tell us just some like quick and simple ways that people can connect with their team members?
Definitely. I think some you might already know, or maybe you apply in your personal life, but we don't always think about it in our professional life. And that's just having one-on-one meetings with your team members or the individuals, right? It could be weekly, it could be whatever cadence feels right to you. But I think a one-on-one, even if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, doesn't have to be long. It's a touch point and it's a great way to connect.
I love that, Rosie.
You like, it's so simple, right? But
I do it. So
yay! I figured.
Check one.
I'm thinking, Schae, you do many of these.
I do.
So another one that I love personally, because I love to be social, is having a little happy hour once a week, once a month, or right? Who doesn't love a little social hour? Or maybe bringing lunch in, depending on the kind of company you have, or depending on what time of year it is, if you're all remote. But I just think it could be simple. Again, bring pizza in once a week on a Friday, and it's really fun. And then my last suggestion, which is one of my favorites, and I used to do this with my team members, is come up with games that everyone can enjoy. And by games, it's really the idea of gamifying the work you're doing. So one simple example is I thought my team and I were very funny. So we would always have these one-liners in our work emails that would just to crack each other up, along with the important work we were doing. But we were there a long time every day. So we thought, why not have fun while we're here? So at the end of the week, we would judge who had the funniest line. Which the best part was the judge was also voting.
Sure.
And all of us were voting. It was the honor system, let's just say. So at the end of the week, we would choose, and then there would be I would do the grand reveal. Again, I wasn't the judge, but I'd still be the one to do the reveal. And the person who won would get crowned. I actually had a tiara. It happened to be all women on our team. So it was really fun, something to look forward to. It was so silly, but it kept our energy going throughout the week, as well as a nice way to end the week. So those are some simple tips you can take.
Oh, I love those ideas. They're simple, they're approachable, they're easy things where a boss can, touch base and make it fun yet personal, which is really what it's about, right? It's like connecting on a different level. And a lot of people do connect over parties, drinks, food, and comedy. So
yeah. And
yeah,
trying to intertwine it when possible, being playful while you're in the moment. I talk a lot about with my clients, embracing your feminine energy. We have masculine qualities and feminine qualities, and masculine are very deliberate, purposeful, goal-oriented, all great, especially at work. But we also have feminine qualities like being playful, creative, and listening and talking. So if you could merge the two, I think it makes for a really healthy, strong team.
that's great. So I'm sure, that's kind of like surface level, like at minimum, but there are probably ways that bosses can go like above and beyond and really try to like hone in on a deeper level with their team members. Can you talk about some like, more, bigger, expansive ways to connect?
Absolutely. I have a few ways I'd love to share. Some that I used while I was in corporate America, and I still use them now. So with my coaching clients, a big one is understanding people's strengths and then leveraging those strengths on your team. So instead of thinking everyone has to be the same, understand the different strengths each individual has and then manage to those strengths. It really helps to build trust. And when someone feels like you're acknowledging them and who they are, they feel valued at the same time. So there's an assessment called StrengthsFinder 2.0. You can find it online. It's really simple to take. And I would have my team do that. And then I would know what levers to go with for each person. So I wasn't asking them I would stretch them within that, but I wasn't asking them to be someone they really weren't. And the best part is you can even build a team that way because you find people who complement each other. So I really loved that one. And to your earlier point, it's a great way to connect with people, because if people feel valued, if your team member feels valued, then they feel like you're invested and they're more invested. So that's one of my favorite ones.
That's great. It's kind of like, is it like like an assessment, like a personality assessment or like a skills assessment kind of thing?
It's 45 minutes. You basically go online, you buy the book. I can give the link and send it, share with people. You buy the book. You don't have to read the book. I love this stuff, so I read the book. But there's a code in the back of the book. You just go to the website and it'll tell you all this, StrengthsFinder.com, and then put the code in 35 minutes. It really brings up your natural talents. They refer to them as talents versus strengths because sometimes we need to work on them a bit. But what I love about it is it's really simple. There's a lot of personality assessments out there that could make things more complex. And if you're ready to go there, go for it. But this is a nice, simple tool. I think both your team member as well as you could understand and integrate, versus what I think happens a lot with these assessments. And I was a psych major, so I know how this works, is we learn them and then, I don't know what the results. I never really use them. Well, and I do this a lot with my coaching clients, I help them integrate them and leverage them, because my whole goal is to help people with their energy management, because we can't control circumstances outside of us, but we can help our energy flow. And so I always think, what could be easier than being you, right? So if you know your strengths and we leverage them, you're more likely to feel better along the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the idea of like looking back at it, right? And not just see it once and forget about it, but really like remembering it. And like you said, the coworkers knowing each other's results, right? So they know how to communicate, not just the boss knows, but the whole team understands how to better communicate with each other.
Yeah, and this report even gets into ways you could practice it. Like I mentioned earlier, you might have a talent, like one of my clients was very adaptable. That's a great talent to have. It helped with her work situation. Sometimes she'd have to just hop on a plane at last minute notice. That's wonderful talent to have. But if it's overused, it can become a weakness where she was too adaptable in her personal and professional life. So we worked on understanding this talent and learning how to leverage it and make it a strength. And the report even gets into ways you could practice that. I usually tell people, practice in small stake situations, right? You don't want to go out big and then get frustrated or fall on your face with that. But if you can just find some small stake situations to practice these talents, you leverage them. And then if you continue to honor them, again, you'll feel better along the way.
I love that, Rosie. So I did interrupt you because I was like really interested in that. So go ahead with your next one.
Oh yeah, I love this one too. It's really striving to make your employees happy. Again, this sounds so simple, but it's so powerful. It can really impact their success. And you know, when their success is impacted, your business success is also impacted. So some simple ways you can do that is consider what tools they might need to do their job well, or show appreciation in a fun, creative way. One time I was working with a team member and we were really striving to work on our presentation skills. We also had a really tough team member with us as well. So it was a bit challenging. So I set up this scenario where if she got a certain amount of points, I would ship her favorite ice cream from her hometown to her. And she got it. And yeah, it's so fun. Until this day, she remembers that. But again, it's really noticing how I'm also integrating it with the work world, right? It's not totally separate. It's aligned with what tools does she need? How can I motivate her? And she feels like her happiness matters to me. And that ultimately is going to make her feel good about herself, I think our relationship, and about her job. And studies show that people who feel good about their job or feel connected to their bosses really perform well.
Heck yes. Amen, right? Sister. I love that.
I love it when studies show things that we know anecdotally in our heart, right? Of course, if things feel good, you're going to show up and perform better. So that's a fun one. And I have a third one if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Take it away.
This one is a little bit more about how you can show up with your team overall. And it's about focusing on the what, not the how. And I'll say as a younger manager, I might have focused on the how, meaning, oh, this is how we meet expectations. But a more inspiring way is for employees to focus on what your desired outcome is. So as a boss, hey, share your expectations with your team or your vision for what is desired or what's the end goal here, right? We want this living room to feel comfortable and relaxed for the client and organized. That's probably not your language, but you get the idea. Here's the end goal. And then allow your team members to determine the best way to get there. They feel more invested in the process and they're going to feel more fulfilled when it's completed. And this may surprise some of our bosses out there, but they might even find a better way to do it, right? If we let people show up. Yeah. We don't want people to feel stifled or demotivated. And I think focusing on the what and not the how is a really great way to also show people you believe in them. So those are my 3 favorite tips that are a little bit more involved, but I think so worth it.
Yeah. And I love that they really include, getting to know on a deeper level and empowering that team member. I think that's very important, for any workplace, like you said. And I really strive to be the best possible boss. I'm sure I don't do it all perfectly every single time, but I think everybody loves working here at M2O. And I just want to share with everybody at our monthly team meetings, a portion of our meeting is set aside for team building. So we do show and tells where we'll show like something that we collected from overseas, or a funny thing that we've kept from our childhood that reminds us of something in our past, so that we can really like get to know each other on a deeper level. But I think it's hard sometimes for bosses to know, how much to share, where to draw the line, because this is something that we do together as a team. So not only are the team members, sharing, but I'm sharing.
Mhm.
And, sometimes things can come up that are a little sensitive. And I just want to know if you know or can give us some kind of guidance on how bosses know where to draw the line. So they're still connecting and they're still sharing, but they're not maybe oversharing.
This is a great question. And I experienced a lot when I was in corporate America, as we were traveling a lot in advertising. You go on these fun trips and you're really with people all evening, all day. So there's so many opportunities where that could happen. And I know my current coaching clients also have those questions. So it's a great point. The way I approach it is really consider your intention for your role and relationship. So I loved how you talked about really, the examples I said were about connection and empowerment. So if that's your intention, really remember that. For me, the way I summarize it is I want to be of service to my team. Or when I'm partnering with my clients, I want to be of service with them, because this could be a similar situation with a coach and client. And I do share personal things because I think my stories can support our coaching, but I'm really mindful of what I share. I never want to burden anyone with something difficult in my life. And you want to consider, right? I'll share, of course, if there's something difficult that might impact my team, meaning I'm going through a medical situation and I might not be available. Of course, you need to share that, or if it impacts the work. But otherwise, really be mindful of what's your intention with your team and your role, and then decide, is this worth sharing? Is this make sense to share? Am I burdening my team by sharing this, or can it support my ultimate intention? On a lighter note, I think, share what feels fun and feels good and makes you human, right? Because that's what, as you were saying, gives you, that inspires people to connect with you. They don't just see you as the leader of the team, or I know you're a founding partner here. That could feel like a big disconnect. But when you're sharing things that are fun and feel good, it helps you, again, shows your humanity. And I would just, again, invite you to make sure whatever you share, even in those fun moments, aligns with your intention for your role and relationship. But obviously, it's ultimately a personal decision, but hopefully these guidelines are helpful.
That's super smart, Rosie. And it's funny, I was just listening to a leadership class online. It was a recorded thing through NAPO. And they were really talking about, when you're working with other people and you're portraying yourself as a leader, or you're trying to be a leader at something, really not making it about you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you, it's about them. And so kind of remembering that and everything. And so I think you kind of spoke to that, right? Is like, is this really going to benefit them, or does it enhance, your point, rather than, just being controversial or shocking, or,
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
And that just helps you put in a mindset, because it's really tough to know in every situation the right thing to say or do. But if you have an intention, you're mindful about it.
Yes.
I think it helps you then know what can fit under that umbrella.
That's so great. So, okay, are there any other like tips that we missed that you weren't able to get in, that you're like dying to share with the M2O TV viewers?
Well, I just think, and you summed it up as beautifully with, it's about connection and empowerment. And I really think all of these tips boil down to just being relatable, human, and having fun while you're getting your work done, right? When you do that, you can build that close and productive relationship, which I know a lot of us and high achievers really want. And I feel really grateful that I had that with my bosses. I feel like I had that with my team members as well who reported to me. And ultimately, there was just an affinity, a trust, and a respect all at the same time. And I'm lucky to have that with my coaching clients today, too. I really see us as partners. And I always think of a quote my mom, who's an immigrant from Sicily, said. She said it so simply, and I feel like it's so true. If you enjoy the people you work with, you can truly enjoy your job.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes,
simple,
yes.
but so true, right?
Well, that's why I am like a little weird with my hiring practices. I hire really slowly.
I love it. I
And
know your process. You've shared. It's good.
oh, it's crazy, but I want to make sure that the right people are on the team and that we're all just like a real tight family.
Mhm.
And I think that's what we've created, but it does take time and energy to make that happen. So thank you for sharing all of that. I think you're right on the money with everything that you said. And thanks, Mom from Sicily, for that great quote. That was perfect.
Those good nuggets.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rosie. I would like for you to share with everybody how they can find you, reach you, connect with you as we're talking about, in case they want to get more of your genius information and knowledge.
I'm always happy to connect with anyone who's interested in coaching. I always say I can share what I do, or if there's someone who's a better fit for you, I'm always happy to connect people. Easy way to get in touch is my email, which is rosie@innerbrilliancecoaching.com. I also have, you can reach out via my mobile number, 312-286-0971. And you can check out my website at innerbrilliancecoaching.com. There's different ways to connect with me there, and you can learn about my program. Plus, I have many tools on there, videos and articles and blog posts that really address what I know a lot of us go through on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully at the end of the day, you feel like you can get results while feeling more joy along the way.
Rosie is a boss lady. She's amazing. She has all kinds of like webinars and seminars and handouts that come with it. And it's always so inspiring to listen to you and be next to you. And I'm just honored that you joined us today. Thank you so much.
This was
And
so
for
fun.
Oh, thank you. And for the rest of you out there, don't forget, we've got lots of more information for you, including our blog, which will talk about how coworkers can connect with each other in a meaningful way. So some of the things that Rosie talked about, but like even more. So check that out on mission2organize.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and we would love to connect with you more. So until next time, we'll see you next time on M2O TV. Thanks for joining us. Bye.